it's Coach Philly Phil here, your hormone coach. So I told you we were going to be talking about meal prep, and that is what we're doing. We are talking about meal prep because it is not as difficult as a lot of people think it is. It seems like a lot to wrap your head around, but it's really not. So I'm just going to simplify it or do my best to do that. All meal prep is a fancy term for leftovers, and you've heard me say this before. So legit, I grew up on leftovers. Many of us did. I am one of seven children. So my family did not have the resources to buy multiple different meals. So we ate a lot of leftovers. My parents purchased things that were inexpensive, that could stretch and feed a lot of children a lot of times. So we had stuff like spaghetti and meatballs. We had something called goulash, which I actually loved growing up, and it's basically elbow macaroni. It's spaghetti with elbow macaroni instead of um, spaghetti noodles, and instead of meatballs, it's like ground meat. That's all it is, and we called it goulash, and we loved it. Stuff like big pans of lasagna, big ziti. We didn't have lasagna a lot because back then that was an expensive meal for seven kids, and a pan of lasagna did not, unless you made something that big, it did not feed seven kids more than one time. But anyway, so we bought inexpensive stuff, or my parents purchased inexpensive stuff that we could make in bulk that would feed us multiple times. So that's literally all meal prep is. It is batch cooking, cooking a lot of food all at once, um, and just leftovers, eating it at more than one meal. So to simplify it, what I recommend or what you can do to make it easier for you is just to make two or more meal options when you cook, right? So for me, when I'm in the kitchen, if I'm making steak for my lunch, I'm going to make more than one steak, obviously, because I know I have to eat it every day for lunch. Um, and I'll make, like, when I was eating salmon, right now I'm not eating salmon. I would make different options. I would make steak, chicken, salmon, maybe a whitefish. I love Mediterranean sea bass, so I would make three or four options because, first of all, you may not want the same thing every night. And it's there, it's done. So you can pick and choose. Tonight I'm gonna have salmon. Tonight I'm gonna have chicken. The next day I'm gonna have, maybe I'll have the sea bass for lunch. So it's there and it's done. And if cooking in the kitchen for several hours, making a week long option list of options is an arduous task that makes you want to poke your eyes out, then I would just split it up into 2 days. I would do it Sunday and I would do a few days Sunday, and then Wednesday I would do a few more days. That makes it easier and it makes it more manageable because it's in small chunks. So like for me, for lunches, I eat right now I'm eating sweet potatoes, roasted sweet potatoes every single day. I don't mind it because I don't eat processed sugar right now, and sweet potatoes legit taste like a dessert for me. So I spray it with olive oil spray and sprinkle it with sea salt and cinnamon, and I put them in the air fryer, and I make multiple meals worth so that I don't have to cook. Because I'm telling you, some days I get so busy that if I had to literally make a meal from scratch, I would either skip the meal and eat something that is not on plan or order takeout. And that's just not in line with my goals right now. So I do my best to plan ahead. Um, so you could do things like overnight oats. I love overnight oats because they're super easy. And if you're like me and I like pretty things and I like accessories, so if I'm making overnight oats, I go and invest in cute little mason jars because that's going to excite me and get me motivated to make my overnight oats. And overnight oats are so easy. Like they can take less than 5 minutes for you to put that together at night and put multiple options in the fridge. And like magic, the next day they're in the fridge and ready for you to eat. So I don't like my overnight oats cold. So when I get up, I take them out of the fridge so they get closer to room temperature. So by the time I'm ready to eat them, I can just grab them and eat them. So you could do that like when you get up to make your coffee. If you're a coffee drinker or a tea drinker or whatever you do in the morning, you could take them out of the fridge. And if you got to dash out the door to work, grab them off the counter and head out. I honestly, I keep plasticware in my car because I never know when I'm going to have to take a meal on the go. And I want to make sure I am prepared. What else? Stuff like breakfast burritos. You can cook the mix. Like you can scramble the eggs and put the meat and the cheese, if you're eating cheese, together in a container and keep the shells separate. My son had a thing about pre-cooked shells, so we would have to heat his shells up if we pre-made breakfast burritos. But you can legit make the whole thing, wrap it in foil, grab it, go out the door. You can heat that bad boy up when you get to work. Easy peasy, right? Stuff like chicken and tuna salads. Those were my favorite because they were so versatile, right? Chicken salad is so easy. Um, sea salt. We used to use olive oil, mayo, dice up grapes. We diced them up real small because we didn't like to use a lot of grapes. Um, and diet chopped pecans. Easy peasy. You can put it on toasted whole grain bread. I'm not eating gluten in my bread right now, and I don't eat pasta right now. But those are things you can do. So if I wasn't having it on a sandwich, I would buy bags of spinach, shoot for organic because spinach is the most heavily sprayed vegetable of pesticides. And pesticides are toxic, especially for us ladies over 40. They work. I'll tell you about that in another live, but they're not good for us. They mess with our estrogen receptors and all that stuff. So organic spinach. I put a bed of that on a plate or in a bowl, and I dump the chicken salad, which is already made in the fridge, on it. Ta-da! Lunch. Easy peasy. Same thing with the chicken salad. And like dinner, you can have air fried. I love the air fryer. It is my favorite appliance. Air fried fish or broiled fish or grilled chicken, and have that in the fridge with some roasted veggies. Put like some dice up whatever kind of vegetables you like, olive oil, sea salt, put them in the oven to bake on a Sunday while you're watching the game. And then it's ready for you to grab and go out the door. That's legit. All meal prep is batch cooking those things, putting them in containers so they are ready to go. And if you are super organized, I used to have a client, Laura, who her meal prep was a thing of beauty. She had these compartmentalized or compartmented containers, and she would put every meal and have them stacked on her kitchen table and send me pictures. And I was like, that's beautiful. It is so beautiful. So if you're that kind of organized, you're that A-type personality, totally do that. Then you know every meal is done. For people like me who don't have the patience for that, I just put them all in containers, and that way I take it out, measure, because I measure all my food. I just have to because I'm on prep. And I measure all my food and I put it on a plate and I eat it. And there's an easy way to gauge if you don't want to do the tedious task of measuring everything. There's a super easy way to gauge what a measurement is. A palm, and you've heard me say this before, the palm of your hand is relative to the size of your body, right? Or is proportionate to this for most of us, is proportionate to the size of your body. So that is the size your protein should be. So that's roughly, depending on how big you are, between 3 and 5 ounces, right? That is a portion of protein for your meal, right? So a cupped palm, you can't see it with my screen, my background. A cupped palm is your grains, and then a fist is your veggies. You want to do about 1.5 to 2 fists of veggies, depending on the size you are. Um, Easy peasy. There's your portions, all done. And you can literally gauge that on a plate with your hands, and that's your portions. If you need clarification on that, let me know. I have a free portion guide that I can send you. What else? So make sure you're organized. Again, I like to buy little containers. Where was I? I think I was at Bed Bath and Beyond, and they had the cutest little containers with these colors on the top. I buy stuff like that because I'm girly like that and I like things like that. It excites me and motivates me. When it comes to overnight oats, I buy the cute little mason jars to put them in. So get organized. Have stuff on hand that's going to help you. Have a grocery list. I legit, and this is so easy because you don't even have to write them down anymore. You can literally say, hey Siri, add chicken breast to my grocery list. Okay, add it to your grocery list. Is that not easy? Come on now. So easy. So that way, when you get to the store, all you have to do is make a beeline. First of all, eat before you go to the grocery store because right now and for the rest of the year, all kinds of holiday tomfoolery and temptation is going to be out there. And if you go hungry, you are liable to fall victim to the tactics of the grocery store. Everything is lined up the way it is for a reason. So if you're in checkout, guess what's there? Candy, because it's an impulse buy. And if you're hungry enough, it's going to look good while you wait. So go fed, beeline straight to the items on your grocery list. Do not be distracted and get out of there, right? Pre-cut fruits and veggies, my favorite. Not so much pre-cut fruits because I don't buy a lot of stuff that I have to cut out. Like when I buy watermelon, I usually get it from Publix and they dice it up already. So, but also I will buy like the small seedless ones, which I don't mind dicing up. So, because it's kind of easy. Stuff I do buy pre-cut is like the onions, peppers, and what is it? Onions, peppers. It's just onions and peppers. I thought there was something else in there. I was trying to picture it. That's something I will make the extra investment for because there are days when my brain is just like, I do not want to be in there chopping. So I'm going to buy it pre-cut so it's easier for me to do. So like with my sweet potatoes, I won't cut them all up in one day. I'll cut like two or three. I'll skin them, wash them, skin them, dice them up, and cook them all at once. And as I see my container starting to get low, I'll do another batch because I need to do things in small batches. I can't, if anything seems too big, it overwhelms me and it makes me not want to do it. So, and that's another thing. Know yourself. You know those things about yourself. So find ways to make things easier. I know sometimes I don't always plan as well as I tell you to plan. So things like if I have to dash out the door with food, there's a likelihood every now and again that I may not have plasticware in my car, or I may forget to put it in my bag with my food. So when I am at a gas station and I get, because y'all have heard me say this before, I will take my food with me when I know I have to run errands and I don't want to be tempted by anybody's fast food tomfoolery. So I will go in the gas station and I'll heat up my food. Gas stations like Quick Trip, I don't know of any other ones, maybe Racetrack, have plastic utensils and they have microwaves so that you can heat up your food. I think they do that for like contractors who typically will have to go in there and heat up their food or buy something fast. So they do that. And I think they sell pre-made food that's chilled that you have to heat up. So they have microwaves. So I utilize that resource when I need to. And I'll grab some plasticware while I'm there. And I grab extra to keep in my car because I know me. And I learned that through trial and error, like running out of options one day, having my food with me, heating it up and having nothing to cook it with. And then I'm in the car feeding myself broccoli out of a container like that, driving down the street, obviously at a light. I'm not driving, feeding myself broccoli out of a container like that, drinking broccoli. But yeah, so that's how you learn how to be prepared. Sometimes just by not being prepared. And I learned that I need to have plasticware in the car. So being prepared, having those time savers, pre-cut fruits and veggies, if that helps you, it's worth the extra investment. Setting aside an hour or two on a Saturday or Sunday. If 2 hours is too long, set aside an hour. Think about what you're going to make beforehand. Make sure you have it in your grocery list so you can go straight to it. Store your prepped foods. I'm trying to think, I had a meal prep sheet not too long ago that told you how to store those. I don't think it's available anymore. I think it was one of those things that was just a bonus for some people. But you can also Google that, right? So certain things have to be stored in certain kind of containers. I know the plastic containers seem like a really good purchase or a reasonable purchase, but the material breaks down, and if they're not BPA free, that leaches into your food. So reusable glass containers is the better way to go. And you can invest in them a few at a time or one at a time because they are a bigger investment, but they are so worth it. First of all, they last longer and they don't run the risk of the chemicals leaching into your food, which will also throw your hormones out of whack. And then you can freeze things in freezer bags. I'm trying to think, what did I use to freeze? Because it's just me now, children are grown. I don't have to freeze a lot of pre-made foods, but stuff like sauces and dressings, or I have frozen, but you can like casseroles like lasagna, you can freeze stuff like that. So, and that way it's there. And chili is another good one that you can freeze and then you can pull out the portions when you need it. So I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions about anything, don't hesitate to reach out. If you need a portion guide, don't hesitate to reach out. And that is it for tonight. This may have gone really long, and I apologize for that. I'm going to try to start making them shorter. But that's all I've got for you tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Ciao.